Hello everyone, welcome back to this episode of Bitcoin Trade. In this particular episode, I'm not going to go over any chart analysis or any news, although I'm just showing you the chart. I'll just tell you what it is. It's Bitfin on a 12-hour, and there's not much going on as far as chart analysis. It's just doing what I've mentioned in the last previous episode, just bouncing in there. It's gone up and down, hitting between those two averages, but I think maybe middle of this week we might see some more price action. In this episode, I want to talk about more of my personal experience with Bitcoin and co-creating with the creator, and what it means to be involved in Bitcoin and everything. My personal experience. So, for those of you who are watching my videos, you're probably wondering who the hell am I, and why do I do this? And if you've seen my videos, you would understand why I'm doing this. But I don't meet anyone. I don't go to any of the meetups. I don't go to the conferences. I don't sponsor any conferences as far as Bitcoins and Bitcoin conferences or mining conferences. I don't do any of those stuff. So you probably will never really know anything about me other than through these videos. And I kind of want to share a little reason why. And just like any chart analysis, hindsight's 20/20, right? When you look at a chart, you often have 20/20 vision, in that obviously you should have sold here and should have bought back in here and all this other nonsense. Well, in my experience, life can be kind of like that as well. And the reason I don't chat on any forums or go to any meetups or do any of those things is, well, first of all, I'm pretty busy. And you think, if I'm so into Bitcoin, why am I not out there in the public, pushing Bitcoin adoption or anything? Because and I don't do any of that either. Most of what I do is I interact through these videos. One of the reasons is, when I first started doing videos, I started actually doing Harbor Freight tools. And the reason why I started doing Harbor Freight tools was I had a lot of time on my hands. Of course, a lot of people have been unemployed for a while. That includes me. And had a lot of time on my hands, and on top of that, I really didn't want to work anymore. I really didn't want to seek out another job. So hindsight 20/20, when I look back at everything now, it all seems to make sense. It all seems to have was meant to be, or was kind of planned that way. 20/20 hindsight. Because right now, I mentioned, I co-create with the creator, and it seems like everything I've done, or everything that I have done, was for this particular reason. And so, going back, anyways, I lost my job. Basically, I was unemployed, and it wasn't like I lost my job because I lied about something, or I stole, or I cheated. In some cases, it seemed like I lost my job because I was honest, I was truthful, I did everything I could to do the best thing I can do. And for an employer, that's not good enough. What matters most was how much money they made and how much money you can make for them. Um, that was, that was more important than, you know, truth or justice or, uh, you know, doing things right. So, anyways, um, and I never really strayed from that. Even though I was pushed many times to gouge, um, to lie, um, well, not necessarily lie, but exaggerate the truth, exaggerate the facts, um, make the sale, um, whatever, whatever. You probably all can relate if you ever worked for anybody, or if you uh, are an employer. Um, you probably know some of this. Or you ever been a manager trying to push other people to make you look good so you can get your bonus? Um, but I never really strayed for that, and of course it cost me my job. So, but anyways, um, and I look back, and when I look back, I kind of everything seems to make sense now. But while it was happening to me, I mean, I was all in disarray. I couldn't believe that what was happening. But in any case, you know, I had a lot of time. I wanted to learn things that you couldn't really learn on a job. And I definitely didn't want to go back to school. I didn't want to pay to learn. So I started just doing things, and that's where my interest in tools and fixing my car, because mechanics were overcharging me for something that cost very little, and I wanted to learn new skills because I really felt at the time that um, learning a new skill was uh, more beneficial than trying to find another crappy job. And so I took a lot of time off. And during that process, I did go onto other forums, especially Harbor Freight Tools forums, because that's what I was really into. And I made these videos, and I wanted to share these videos and everything. And you know, uh, some received it well. They appreciated. Others did not. Um, Others hated me for that, and they felt like I was spamming or whatever. Anyways, I was kind of bullied, and also almost like I was restricted from free speech, and so um, that from that experience, and another experience was I also wanted to get back into the arts because I always had a personal interest in that, and so I got onto some forums on that, and that's when I first encountered that um, there are others out there who are they're they create their virtual entity for the purposes of deception and perversion and all sorts of weird things that you wouldn't do in the physical world. But I learned that your virtual entity and your physical entity, they're not separate from each other. They're one and the same. Just similar as I was talking about how your virtual reality and your physical reality are one and the same. just that you interact with it in a different way. And that's when I started to learn, without knowing that I'm learning this, that your virtual entity, although you may think is separate from your physical entity, are actually one and the same. And so if you're online or whatever you're doing with your virtual entity, if you're being perverted, or if you're now I say being perverted because I know I'm a man, and a lot of men trade bitcoins, and if you're a man, you understand what it means to be a man. You have a very strong sexual desire, and so if you create, or your virtual entity seeks out pornography, that's also who you are in the physical reality as well. If your virtual entity seeks to defraud people, phishing scams, whatever, or if your virtual entity wants to pull a prank, getting people to do things, lying, cheating, stealing, in the physical reality, that's what you really are. You're a liar, you're a cheater, you're a thief. So, without knowing that I'm learning all this, I was learning all this. And the other thing is, I always felt that I was alone, and that I there was no one watching me, or no one watching over me. And I'm not talking about like the NSA or Homeland Security or FBI or the CIA, or gosh, what else? Or the DEA, Secret Service, or even the banks, or other people, other entities. I'm more specifically talking about, the Creator. The Creator was always watching over me. And, hindsight 2020, it makes sense now, but when it's happening, you don't think you're being watched, you're being surveillanced, you're being observed. So of course you would lie, steal, cheat, thinking you're anonymous, but I really believe you're not. You're not anonymous at all. You're never anonymous. You're always being watched everywhere. Just like you're able to be inside of me right now, as I mentioned before. See, you're inside of me right now. See, I'm just looking around, and you're seeing what I'm seeing. So now that hindsight 2020, I co-create with my Creator, or with the Creator, I should say. Things are a little different for me now. But anyways, now that, and the reason why I don't go on to these forums and I don't go up to the meetups and everything is because of kind of some of those reasons. And the other reason is, I'm not here to promote Bitcoin in that particular way. I do promote Bitcoin because I believe in Bitcoin, and I co-create with the Creator my virtual reality, and thus my physical reality. And so I'm only supposed to do a few things, and that is to put out as much Bitcoin I can into the physical world, co-create with the Creator in my virtual reality and make it real. And the last thing is that I stand up tall and straight and in my name bear witness, and that will be my testimony, which I am doing now. This is my testimony through these videos, and that's all I'm supposed to do. You know, I am not required or needed to go out and tell others or go to conferences and speak about how wonderful Bitcoin is and how it can empower you and all the things I've been saying. I just make these videos, and that's all I do, and that's about all I do, and I'm not going to be doing any of those other things. Also, the other thing is, let me see, you know, it's, oh yeah, and I guess another thing is to make sure that everyone, every man, woman, child, from every country, of every race, of every nationality, has absolute free will and use of Bitcoins. And that's about it. And so it's totally up to you. Totally up to you to do whatever you want with your Bitcoins. I'm not here to convince anyone or tell anybody what to do. I do recommend some things, but you have absolute free will to do that. And so whether you believe or believe not to believe, that's totally up to you. I'm not here to make any judgments or anything like that. So but that's, you know, hindsight 2020. You know, everything makes sense to me now, but only after it has happened. And you know, just like when I do my chart analysis, it's always 2020 after it's happened. But while it's happening, you know, it really tests your knowledge, your skills, your faith when it's happening at the time. So, you know, I just want to share that experience with all of you. I'm not doing a chart analysis. I'm not doing anything. It's just an experience I want to share, and it's challenging too. It's like you know, if I compare it to an analogy or a metaphor, I would say that it's like you know, what I'm doing is I'm building a boat in the middle of nowhere near a body of water, and that's all I have to do is just build this boat and finish building this boat. And people, you know, who I come across, you know, they may see me make this boat, and they're going, "Where are you going with that boat?" And I tell them I'm not going anywhere. This boat is for when, you know, when it starts raining, when it starts pouring, when it starts flooding. But you know, I'm on top of a mountain, middle of nowhere, and there's no body of water for hundreds and hundreds of miles. And I'm trying to tell people to also start building your boat, so you don't drown, or you know, just warning people of the earth taking a bath, cleaning itself. So it's kind of like that, you know, and I always get this feeling that no matter what I do, even if I tell somebody, or even if you see these videos and I'm basically documenting everything that's happening here and telling you about it, that there are just going to be some people who will just never, ever believe what I say. And that's kind of what I feel like. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you show them, uh, you know, no matter how much the mountain of evidence that you present, um, there's just going to be people who just will never, ever believe, ever believe. And so, it is what it is, and I'm not here to force anyone to believe. I'm not here to impose my will. It's not my will to do that. I'm just supposed to do what I think is what I should do, which is put out as much Bitcoin as I can into this physical world, into the hands of as many people as I can. Co-create with the creator in my virtual reality and make it real, and stand up tall and straight and in my name bear witness, and that'll be my testimony. And so that's it. I guess another analogy would be like, how can I say this? I'm trying to, I guess you could say I'm reaching for the sky, and then to the moon, and then to the stars, and to the universe, and into the cosmos. And when I say that, and I mean it, like literally, like however I can do that, spaceship, teleportation, whatever, whether I have to build a spaceship or I wait for some aliens to come by and hitch a ride, or some teleportation device, whatever. And I'm serious really about doing those things. It's like, could you imagine telling someone that, and then they'll just look at you and they say, "Oh, well, that's nice." It's like, they don't. No one believes you. No one believes you, even after what you show them or what you tell them. The world is full of blind people and full of deaf people, although they can hear and they can see. Anyways, I talked long enough. I'm not here to do any episodes. I just want to share that with you. It's a holiday weekend, and again, hindsight is 2020. You don't, when it happens to you, you don't necessarily know what's going on. And then when it has happened to you and you look back, it's all 2020. It all just completely makes sense. And you don't know that until after it's happened. Just like on this chart, you don't know. Hindsight's 2020. It's like so obvious. I could have just sold here and then bought in back here, right? 2020, hindsight 2020. That's the reason why I mention hindsight 2020 is that everything I say, it's true to me, anyways, because it's happening to me. And if you get involved deep enough and immerse yourself into it, it'll happen to you too. And only after that will you look back and see everything how it unfolded, to say, it's so obvious now. Anyways, if you feel free to like or dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.